Hi guys, I'm Asif Ali and you're watching CGHOW video. Today I created this effect in just material, not Niagara. So this will be a material tutorial and this whole thing I created in material, and this was the reference I saw on CGHOW.com. I'll put the link in description. Initially I thought let's create this in Niagara, but then I thought let's do that in whole material. It's not the same thing. My effect is not same, but it looks cool in material. And if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, please subscribe it. If you like this tutorial, like, share and comment. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle is CGHOW underscore. Link is in the description. You can follow me. So let's start this tutorial.
CGHOW. CGHOW.
First of all, subscribe my YouTube channel and also click on bell icon so you will receive all new video notification. So you can see, although I have lots of other parameter, but this whole effect is like working on just one parameter. Is scaling, it's fading, and there's this streaks. Everything is just with this one parameter. So there is material. This is the material, not very big, but it is very useful. Some where you can use like this in just one sprite. Okay, so on one sprite your basic effect is done. Okay, so it is already done and I even didn't rename it. So let's create it again in a new folder, test. I'll put the original one in my Patreon so you can download it, check. So let's create a material. So here first we need something that pixelated. So for that you just need a texture. Texture, let's make it a noise texture actually, and let's make it additive. Okay, so I'll just press T and I'll find a noise texture, a basic noise texture from the Photoshop. Okay, then if I preview this, this is the noise. And if you want to pixelate any texture in UE material, in UE4 or UE5, the basic math is you will take a texture coordinate, then multiply it, then take a floor and then divide. And the divide value and multiply value will be same. So I'll type here like pixel and connect it here, here and here. So if I make it like 10, it will make 10 by 10 pixels, 5 by 5, 2 by 2, or 20 by 20, 50 by 50. And if you will increase like 100 or 10,000, it will make your noise the same thing. Okay, so we have now pixels. Now we need to make this ring. So for that, you need to take a vector to radial. And this vector to radial has 3 coordinates, and this first one will work for us. So if I connect this here directly, you will see this noise is now roundish, a polar coordinate, but there is a seam here. To fix that, I'll just use this MIP level. Okay, so now we have the coordinates that is radial, so we can use these coordinates instead of this texture coordinate. So we will use this here and then connect it here. So we have this, and now we have control of pixels, but this is for X and Y both together. I want to separate these. So I will take the append, connect it here, and I'll delete these and take the 2 parameters. This will be my X, and then again this will be my Y. Connect these, and default value, let's say 5 and 5, and then I'll just save it. So I have saved. Now I'll create a instance material of this, and on planar, oh, we need to connect it here. That's why it was not showing the parameters. I'll just save this. So now we have the parameters here for x and y, x and y. Okay, so you can make like 20 and this thing maybe like this. Now we need to cut it in a round shape like this. This is a ring that is scaling up. So for that, you can take radial, but I'll take texture coordinate, then I'll subtract zero point 0.5 and then take the length of this. So what is happening if I take the texture coordinate, it starts from here. This is the 0, then this is the 1, 1, 1. If I subtract zero point 0.5, this 0 will be minus zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5 0 will be here and this will be zero point 0.5. So now it is starting from the center. So if I'll take the length, connect it here, sorry, connect it here. And then if I preview this length, like if I take the multiplier and preview, it will make it the round. And now you can take the step, and if I preview the step and make a node of step, so 0 means it is black, and then I'll increase the values until 0.5 it touches the edges. So maximum value will be 0.5, so 0 to 0.5 we have this. So I'll multiply this with this, actually drag this with control pressed in your keyboard and left mouse button, and now it will cut it out, this your pixel thing. So I'll just save it again. So now we have one more parameter, that is step, and you can see it's making it this ring scale in and out. Now this should be faded from the center. So for that you can do one thing, this length you have, you can subtract some value from this length, and if I subtract like 0, it is like this. If I subtract 0.1, it is increasing this radius, but it is still fade, it is gradient, because this tab make like 0 or 1 value, integer values, but in subtract we have the gradient. So now we can multiply this and then connect it here, and we make a parameter subtract, the same name, so you will understand better. I'll just save it. So now I have saved, and see here we have now this subtract. But there is an issue, and that is this subtract is making it like fading this whole thing. So what I'll do actually, let's take a color first, 3, make a parameter color, and I'll just make it blue for now, multiply it with this, connect, and let me save. And now here I can increase the color like 50 or 20, and now it will work better. Okay, so I can even increase it to 50. So now this tab is working, but this center part is not animating with the radius of this tab. So what you can do, first you need to check the values. So like here it is 0.2 around, and when I'm decreasing, it should like 0. So 0 to 0.5, 0.2. When it is 0.5, it should 0.2. When it is 0, it should be 0. So we can remap the values. So I can take the remap values, and I'll connect this here and connect this here. So my input values is 0 to 0.5, 0.5 actually, and my output value is 0 to 0.2, and just save it again. So now if you'll see what happened. Oh, I actually changed the value. input value is 0 to zero point 0.5, output value is 0 to 0.2. And now you see the center part is also animating with this. But when I increase it to 0.5, the center value should like increased much. So what we can do, so if I now subtract from this value and save, so when I'm increasing here, this value become should become minus minus 2 or 3, minus 2 minus 3. So actually what we can do is let's not use remap first. If I'll connect this value here, we have 0 to zero point 0.5 and we have subtract. Let's try this how it looks. So now we have this value. Okay, so we need this value 0.2 to 0. Okay, so now we can remap. So here, and we want this to fade at the end. So my initial value will be in the input value, low will be 0.4 and this will 0.5, and this will be like we have seen 0.2 to 0. So this will be 0.2 and this will be 0, and I'll just save it. So now it's cool. It's increasing the radius and also fading at the end. So we have almost finished our first part, and now we can do something here in this one, and that is you can do two things. First is here in the UVs you can add a panel. Let's not preview this. And if I add some value like 0.5, 0.2, you can see this is animating. Let's make it 10 and 10 default. So you can see this is going to the center. You can use this. Let's see how it looks. So it's animating. And the second thing you can do, you can remove this panel. And because you have this thing, if I preview, oh, something happened. This just freeze my Unreal. It should not crash, should not crash. Okay, thank God. Okay, so you have this gradients, not gradients, but you have the different values in each this segment. So what you can do, you can add time on it, and then you can use Sine. So if I preview the Sine, this time will keep adding the values, but this Sine will like making is -1 to 1, and then it is completely black somewhere. So I will use absolute, so it will make negative value positive. And now if we will see it here in action, let it just save. That's cool. So we have whole thing. It's already looking cool. You can just use this one parameter and particle and you can use it. And of course, you can change the tiling. So like you have this thing, you can also use it like this. Or maybe you have this, just the rays. You can increase this. Okay. So you have this. Now we need to make that flash initially. So what we will do, we will take a texture again. In my case, I'll take the aura, but you can take any kind of noise, but it should uh, it should have black and white, like more black, more white. Like this image is like fully gradient, but this image has some black part, some white part. It's not required you will take this type of image. You can use the same noise but subtract some value. It will work, I think, for you. So you have this, and here in this radial we have three coordinate, as you know. If I use the second one and check it here, we have raise, and then we can use a panner. So panner like that's 0.3, 0.2. So it will animate it. See, it's animating. It's really cool. Now we need a radial that will cut it out. So we can use this thing again, and we can take the subtract. Okay, so we are let's make a raise radial parameter, and then if I preview this, if I'm subtracting 0, it's like this. If I make 0.1, 0.2, but this is black, I want white, so I will take the 1 minus. Now if I increase the value, it's making it round. If I decreasing the value, it's making it full. So we need to decrease the value. So if I multiply this, and if I preview, we have raise, and I want to make these sharp. So I will make multiply it with a higher value, maybe 10, then take a floor, and then it will be sharp lines, and then we can use a saturate, so value will be under 0 or 1. So we have these lines, and to control the opacity of, let's make a parameter. This will be raise opacity. Okay, and now if I preview this, 0 means no raise, 1 means full raise, and now we can add this to our the main output. So I will add this here, and let's see, save this. So now here we have this raise, and we have these two parameters. One is to opacity of raise, and also look cool. Okay, and the second one is radial. So we want to animate this radial like zero point 0.5, and if I'm increasing to 0.9, so 0.9 to zero point 0.4 or 5, zero point 0.9 to zero point 0.4 or 5. So we need again a remap value, copy and paste here, and we will use this. Our input will be, I want it from 0 to maybe zero point 0.2, and our output value will be, I want it to from 0.9 to zero point 0.4, and this value will be our radial. Let's save this, and actually you can make this high value a parameter, so you can control there, and let's make it 0.4 by default. Save it. So now here, if I am increasing this value, this flash is also increasing with this, and with this radial I can control this like this, but this should also fade, maybe after, first of all it should be scaled at 0.2 or 1, the fully scaled, so I'll make it 0.1, and then it should fade. So to fade it, what I'll do, we have a value that goes from 0 to 0.5, and I want this value, like if I multiply this value with 2, then it will be 0 to 1. Okay, so then we can use 1 minus, so this value will go from 1 to 0, and then we can multiply this here after this, before this actually. And let's save this. So now if I increase this, it's also fading the rays, but very late. I want this rays should fade at 0.2 or 3. So after this, we can subtract some value here because this going from here it was from 0 to 1, then 1 minus, so it is going like revert 1 to 0. So I want to decrease some values, and this is the life of our rays. So let's save this. So now the life, if I increase it value 0.5, the life will be half. So see, rays is fading first, then this thing. We can make it even more, 0.6. And raise opacity, I want to increase. So this is how I created. One by one, you need to understand the concept of masking and black and white channel, how you can use. So this is not something that you have in your mind initially before creating. It is something you will add one by one thing. Oh, you can do that, you can do that. So you should have idea what you can do, and you can just make things. Okay. This is cool, you can use somewhere, and this is my original material. So I'll put these both on my Patreon. You can download and check. And thanks for watching. Keep learning, and bye bye.